Welcome to Podnutz Daily for July 28, 2008. I finally released the next episode of Podnutz, the weekly show, at podnutz.com. Episode 21. I did a solo show this week just to, I don't know, I think I'm going to do that every once in a while, just to go over some things that I have my attention on that I want to make known, I guess you could say. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. I got a couple good emails back from that, so thank you guys. Anyone who emailed me to tell me they liked that show, I really appreciate the compliments. Also some good input and feedback on the show as well. For example, I did a little bashing of the forum called expertsexchange.com, and I feel a little silly about this, but I did not know that it's basically a forum for tech repair, computer repair, software problems. And what you do is when you go to that website and you look at the website, you take a quick glance at it, it appears to be a paid site where you can't see what's written in the forums unless you're a paid member. Well, Fishy had emailed me. I'll read his email along with one other person who emailed me, which I will also read later, saying that all you got to do is scroll down to the bottom of the page and they do show what's written in the forums. So if you're doing a Google search for like blue screen of death, you type how do you fix the blue screen of death, and Experts Exchange pops up in Google in the search results, and you click on Experts Exchange. If you take a look at the screen, all of the responses to how to fix the blue screen of death are blanked out, or they're written in Latin or something like that. But I guess if you go to the bottom of the screen and scroll all the way down, you will see the real answer. Thank you guys for that tip. I'm going to use Experts Exchange now. And if they're good enough, maybe I will pay them. But I don't like the sneakiness of them. We booted up a computer today. A customer brought in a Dell desktop. It gets through the Windows installation. It was Windows Home Edition, Service Pack 1 because of the green bar scrolling across the screen. And it gets to a certain point, and it says an error that I've never seen before. I didn't write down the whole error, but I know bits and pieces of it. Something about a system configuration being invalid, and ended off saying that there was a code blue. Don't know if you guys ever got this error. And code blue. Well, what we did is basically we rebooted the machine, and it said it couldn't find system in the system32/config folder, so we figured it was a registry error. And because we couldn't get into system restore, which is what I would have liked to do, because we couldn't get that far, and into safe mode, it wouldn't even let us get into anywhere in safe mode. We did a manual restore of the registry. Windows actually saves a repair version of the registry in a folder called Windows/repair, I think it is. And if your registry is corrupted and you need to boot, you can actually... Guys, I got to shut the window. Sorry about that. I guess it's landscaping hour here. You guys probably can't hear that, but it's really loud on my end. So, anyway, talking about the registry. So, you could actually take that repair registry, copy it over to the system32/config folder, and have a newer version of an operational registry in that folder. Now, it could wreak havoc on your system, but at least you will be able to boot in most cases. So that's something to give a try. The best, I consider this computer the best option that I would have done is a Windows repair. The registry fix did not work. It made it so the computer didn't boot. It got farther along the boot process, but it didn't make it all the way through. This was a good candidate for a Windows repair, which is where you actually put in your XP, Windows XP CD, you run setup, Windows setup, and you get it to the point where it says press R to do a repair of the existing Windows installation. And that's not the recovery console, that's the other thing. It actually rewrites the operating system on top of itself and fixes a lot of errors that you can encounter in that kind of a problem. So that was that computer. The next one was a Dell power jack that I spent hours on today. It was a jack, one of those jacks that I don't like with the 3 pins in it, where the jack was not physically damaged as far as falling off of the motherboard. It was damaged because the connections on the inside of the jack were not touching each other, touching where they should be touching, and it wasn't causing the current to, or the electricity to flow through the wires. And with a little fancy soldering and some ingenuity, because I didn't want to solder a whole new jack onto that board when this one was soldered onto the motherboard fine, just had some internal problem. If you could solve that with some solid soldering, you don't have to resolder a whole new jack to the motherboard, which can be a huge pain in the butt. So we got that one done. And then the rest of the day we worked on computers that are running slow, had spyware, adware, malware, everything, and just speeding them up. And we used the exact process that I covered in the last episode of Podnutz, where you boot into safe mode, you run a couple programs there, you run super anti-spyware. If you want the exact process, check out that episode, number 21. And that was pretty much it. An uneventful day today. I want to talk about the iPod Nano giveaway I'm going to do on the show. I still haven't thought of the rules. I didn't have too much time to think about it. But I'm going to be giving my iPod Nano away probably at the end of this week. All you need to know at this point is the more you watch the show, the better chances you have of winning. Because you might have to recall on some things in some certain episodes to win the competition. That's the direction I think I'm going with it. If you know what I mean. The more you watch, the better your chances are. Got a lot of input this weekend as far as emails, and Fishy had called in, left a couple messages, so I want to play them real quick, and then I'll take any live callers if we have them. Fishy, if you're leaving, you're going to miss your call. Okay, just starting up Skype here. I'm going to play the first message from Fishy right now.
Hey, Steve. This is Fishy. I'm just calling to add a point to SpinRite. I was working on a laptop right now, and I was getting the blue screen of death on startup. Error was unmountable boot volume, and then a bunch of numbers. And I was looking at the drives. The partitions had all kinds of errors, and I tried a couple different boot disks, and they couldn't read anything off of the drive. I plugged it into a SATA to USB cable converter thingy, and tried to read it off my computer, and it couldn't access the drive. So after that, I thought the drive might be going bad, so I loaded up my data recovery program, and I took all the data off of it real fast. And then after that, I was going to attempt to reinstall Windows on it, but I couldn't get into the recovery partition because that was damaged also. So I didn't really know what to do because, I mean, I thought I might